Hi everyone, so I am at the 45th Houston Festival of Quilts and I'm going to show you what I saw. There's so many beautiful things and I'm going to point out some of the beautiful quilts and their talented artists. This first quilt called Pathfinder by Kyra Reps is just stunning. Wait till you see this gorgeousness. This is the Master Art Award for Traditional Artistry, and this mandala is just gorgeous. Let's see if I can look at all those dots and the beautiful quilting. Just gorgeous. How far am I going to have to walk back to get it? Keep going. There we go. Yep. So talented. This is butterflies, bees, and alpha bee trees. And the artist is Janet Stone. It is the Machine Artistry Award from equilter.com. And look at this beauty. Look at all of this gorgeous stitching. It is very, very dense. And it's really got a subtle ombre effect, especially the technique used on those trees and those butterflies. Just gorgeous. Very inspiring. Now you'd think this was a painting, but this is actually a quilt. And this quilt is called Solitude, and the artist is Judith Phillips. And this is a thread artistry quilt sponsored by Superior. And oh my gosh, the thread work on this is bananas. What a wonderful job, and such a light hand when it came to creating these shaded effects. What a beautiful composition. This is another quilt that was sponsored by Sacred Threads, and the artist is Ann Kobus, and it's called The Sunset Years. So in contrast, you can see a little bit of more abstract effect to the sky and not quite as subtle, but those color combinations are just beautiful. Yeah. Another Sacred Thread sponsored quilt, Children of War, and what a moving quilt. I feel like this artist, and the artist is, I can't pronounce her first name, Lena Rubin, really captured the emotion in the eyes of the figures that she put in this quilt. The background has so much detail and representation of peace with a dove and the destruction, and this lovely little girl features some joy where there's sorrow in other parts of it. Beautiful piece. So this section is sponsored by Misty Fuse. These first two quilts I'm going to show you are original designs. This first one is by Sherry Lipman Colley, and the second one is also by her. And she definitely has a creative perspective on her quilting process. I loved how she created motion in this quilt. The thread work is really dynamic and beautiful. Got some interesting fabric down there below. Love that teal piece in there. Those are definitely very special pieces in this art quilt. This is called Spiraled. The next one I'm going to show you is Black, White, Gray. And again, there are some really beautiful, you kind of have to think that they are hand painted pieces of fabric in this. I'll back up so that you can see the perspective. This is another one of Sherry's. This is called Day's End. Nice job with the dyeing on this. This cannot possibly be commercially produced fabric. I'm thinking this is all hand dyed and hand painted. This one's called Interruption, and then there's Triangled. Very vibrant, really nice use of color on this. So this section is sponsored by Cherrywood. These are all done by Lisa Ellis, and they're all variations on cathedral windows, and this gradation that she has created, this ombre effect with these cathedral windows, is very masterful for sure. And then she quilted in there, and I don't know if you can see the detail of the quilting. A lot of patience went into that for sure. And then here's the next one. All of these are done by Lisa Ellis. And let me back up here so that you can see how this all plays from the light to dark. It's beautiful. This one is very, very vibrant. Some low volume background there. This is very low volume in the background, but when you're up close on it, you don't necessarily see the dimension that's created by those black cathedral windows. But when you back up, you can see it. It's okay. And then some more ombre. It's interesting how the same technique used throughout all 4 of these quilts, but all of them read a little bit differently. These background fabrics are slightly different, just all low volume shades of gray. Just beautiful. These 2 quilts are sponsored by Annie's 2 Patterns, or Auntie's 2 Patterns, and the first one's Grandmother's Garden by Lin Min Ling, and then the second one is Blooming Peonies by Ling Soon Ling. And look at this. I mean, this looks like classical painting. So beautiful. I apologize for that rope line interrupting that, but just gorgeous. So coming close so that you can see that this is dimensional, and there's some beautiful metallic thread work done in there. Just gorgeous. And what they did with that vase that the flowers are sitting in is just master level for sure. And then here is the peonies, and this looks to be some applique and really interesting border treatment with very light hand on that, but it reads so beautiful. Just masterwork here. So this is the Poppy Cherrywood Challenge for 2024, their seed collection, and it's also sponsored by Misty Fuse and Orful Thread. And I'm just gonna do kind of a quick run through, because we would be here for a really long time if I shouted everybody out, but what amazing work and how they have used those hand-dyed fabrics from Cherrywood and the Orful Thread for this Poppy collection. I've come back around to the second wall, and look at just these beautiful submissions. Another wall. The cat. So many talented artists. So this is a lot more. There's some more of this Auntie's two patterns, and the one I'm going to show you is Lynn Dan Dan, and it's called Floral Lust. This thing is amazing. I can just imagine the weight of this. It's raw edge applique and thread work, and it is dense. What a beautiful job. I love how she's done these berries. And there's so much depth to this. And then this is Chin Liu. She's from Taiwan. I believe that most of these quilts are from Taiwan. That sky is really masterfully done. Those are triangles. Not half square triangles, but like, I don't know what kind of triangles you call those. Some interesting thread work on this one here. A lot of applique and cut work on this. And I love the dimension on this hydrangea. This is Houston. It's called Blossom. It's very, very interesting. Interesting thread work. So this quilt is Ying Pan, and so much dimension and beautiful thread work. I'm going to see if I can show you how much dimension there are to these quilts. Many, many layers. That background quilting is just amazing. So pretty. Such a vibrant quilt and just beautiful thread work. In contrast, this one's by Ying Pan, and beautiful sky. Lovely composition on that. So this presentation is by quiltshow.com, and this is Kimono Lover by Akio Yoshizumi. I have a hard time with these Japanese names. They're lovely. I'm sure if some could actually pronounce them. But from a distance, I didn't know what I was looking at. But these are all designed with Japanese kimonos, and there are 158 girls lined up, and they're holding hands. Isn't this just amazing? And then look at those, the border. This gives you some indication of the scale and how many dolls there are. Just amazing. And then next door we have Circle of Love by Beatrice Gilbert, and she's from North Yarmouth, Minnesota. And just love the use of contrast of color and the stitch work. So this is all hand applique. You can see all the beautiful stitches, and then in the background you can see the machine quilting. Just a lovely job. Really stand out. A definite style. So I selected this quilt, Redwood of Saratoga, Spring's Wedding Canopy, and this is West Newton, Massachusetts. Sarah, well, there's her name, Scheckinger. Anyways, so what a beautiful use of commercial printed fabrics to create this quilt. There are even a couple of little birds hanging there, if you can see real close. But when you see this from a distance and you see her beautiful use of color, oh my, I'm really taken with that. very light hand and very adventuresome in her use of pattern. I really like this a lot. So these quilts were sponsored by allbrands.com, and this is Korean Star by Joy Finley Palmer, San Jose, California. All hand pieced and machine applique and quilted. And wait till you see this stunning star. And I have to tell you, this is ginormous. And they couldn't even hang it all the way at the top. Just beautiful. This is Kristen La Fleming. She's from Portland, Oregon, kind of close by me. But what a wonderful use of color, and very subtle. When you're right up on it, it looks a little bit more aggressive, but when you stand back, it is really, really gentle for sure. Great job. So this is sponsored by Wonderful. This is Wild Geese by Nikki Woolsey. She's from Lenox, Kansas. And I love the high contrast of this quilt. And she even quilted in the movement of the flying geese. So like in this, it continues to circle around, and she kept it going. And then some orange peel on the quilting. The quilting is so crisp, it kind of doesn't, it looks like it was three-dimensionally printed. And look at these little teeny tiny geese right here. This is quite dynamic, and there's a lot to look at. Look at these little teeny tiny pencil matchsticks in there. That's amazing. So this is presented by the Visual Black History. I'm going to show you 4 quilts. These first 3 are by Georgia Williams. One is Negro Mother. And next to that is Where's My Daddy? Look at the thread work on this. And then Slave Horn. And then What Must She Be Thinking is the name of this one as well. Just gorgeous. And then this one is called We the People. This section is called Text on Textiles, and this is Make Some Noise by Lena Soto, quilted by Susie Dillinger, San Leandro, California. Hand-dyed, machine applique, pieced, quilted using original Thermofax screen for printing, original design. But would you see this? Just beautiful. And it's interesting how she's able to get these ombre effects with these long runs of fabric. And then there's some screen printing there. And the way it's quilted, it's almost like it's a heartbeat. There's some dimension there. Lovely. You can definitely feel there's a restraint to that, because that would have been really easy to go way over the top with, for sure. So this quilt's called Torn by What We've Done by Maggie Vanderwilt. It is for sale. She's from Canada. What's interesting, it was inspired by the Song of Bernadette by Jennifer Warrens and Leonard Cohen. So wait till you see what this is. And it's about emotions that we can sit on and hurt us and cause us pain. So she has all these chairs, and then on the chairs she has different words: fear, despair, envy, anger, regret, and greed. And such a subtle background. Very striking from a distance, and that's really what brought me over here to see what this was about. So I'm back to where we started. There are hundreds and hundreds of more quilts that I could have shown you, but we would have been here for several days. But this is what you walk into initially, and this is going up so high. And obviously it's a patriotic theme. We are in an election year, and look at all of these beautiful quilts. So I'll take you around the outside. Look at that heart. Oh my gosh, that is just amazing. This hexy quilt here in the round, and the subtle one up there at the top. Like that red and navy and white. And look at this horse here. And this thing is so bedazzled. It looks like an Evel Knievel costume. Do you remember him? And he always wore those capes and rode his motorcycle. So it is just as sparkly as it can be. It's really catching the light. So let's go into the center, because on the inside of this are more quilts. Look at all this one with all the yo-yos and buttons. It's just amazing how they have hung these. Just gorgeous. And this one has a beautiful quilting on it and little sparkles as well. I really enjoy the sparkles. The stars up at, see if I can get a better shot of that. It's above the cathedral window quilt. It is really, really beautiful. A lot of applique on that. And then we made it back around to the beginning, and so these are the quilts that are at eye level. And there's some smaller quilts. This quilt here has a lot of emotion. It's the firefighters raising a flag, all pixelated. It's very emotional. Some more of these miniature quilts done in red, white, and blue. These little pinwheels here, so precious. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the quilt show at the Festival of Quilts at Houston Quilt Market 2024. I am so glad that I was able to bring this to you, and it's so inspiring. I leave tomorrow morning bright and early, and I can't wait to get back into my studio and get this video posted for you. So until we see each other again, happy stitching.